If one gets to the playoffs and the other might not.
Oh, I feel some Steph Curry hate. Where is this coming from?
We will say
Steph
one
slander from Keion?
Well, one did purposely show up in a fat suit to get out of
Slander.
town.
He defended his guy that left him, that jilted him at the altar. That ain't cool.
Hey, look, I just speak facts. My hatred for him does not make me dismiss the facts.
Well, I would say
it's still F. James Harden.
I would say even with James Harden though, with James Harden in his run, he still had a pretty decent running mate in all the years that he got to playoffs. So he had Dwight. Then when Dwight left,
Ariza. Dwight wasn't all that. Trevor Ariza was like the second best player on the team.
And then after Dwight, he had Chris Paul. Then after Chris Paul, he had Russell Westbrook. So those are all pretty good running mates. Steph Curry's best running mate is Draymond Green.
As of right now, yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've seen James Harden get second in the West to the Western Conference Finals and miss half. Dwight Howard missed half a year. Patrick Beverly was out for majority of the year. His starting lineup was kind of gone for the rest of the year, and Trevor Ariza was his best player. His second best player. So therefore, I don't want to hear that excuse.
That team is.
I was going to say, if I remember.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if I remember correctly, Keion, from the last, I think you guys were talking about in the last pod, that Harden should have took one of Steph's MVPs, like the year Steph won unanimous, right? You think that was Harden's MVP?
2015.
Yeah. A lot of people would
James Harden's MVP.
No way, no how. No way, no how. He should have got that. Warriors were 67-15 in the West. They had the best record in the NBA. They came out of nowhere. No way, no how. The one that he should have had was Russell Westbrook's. That's the one he should have had.
I agree.
The triple-double first year.
Yeah, I don't think that Russ should have got it that year. James Harden was the real MVP that season. Team had the better record. Rarely do they ever give the MVP to a 6 seed, and they pretty much gave it to Russell Westbrook because of the triple-double and because they couldn't give it to Steph or Durant because they were on the same team.
And not rarely they give it. They've never given it to a 6 seed.
That's not true. They have given it to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Durant. 75. It was the 6 seed. The Lakers were 40, 41, and 41, or 42 and 40.
I'm not going to go against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think he's the GOAT.
There you go. I guess we'll get to it a little bit later on, but as a precursor, is Steph Curry a top 5 point guard all time?
Yes.
You all put him top 5.
Yes, easy answer.
Easy. Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have him definitely in there too, for sure. But I wanted to see where the heads were at.
But the thing is about point guards is there isn't a lot of point guards that have like legit led a team like Steph Curry or Magic Johnson or Isaiah Thomas has. Like, you can't really think of a lot of point guards that have led their team to a championship. And that's why Steph Curry gets in that top 5. It's very slim for point guards. One, John Stockton is in top 5 in my eyes, and he has no championship.
It's difficult for the point guard to be the best player on the team and do all the stuff that point guards do. So, you look at the struggles of Chris Paul. He's just one of the greatest winners that we've ever seen. Plays the point guard. Yeah, absolutely. And he just plays the point guard like classic old school point guard and does a lot of the things that you're supposed to do to win and just can't get there,
Yeah, I definitely had him in my list. Chris Paul, right up there.
Oh man, I'm a big Chris Paul fan, so I like hearing that.
Deserved MVP finalist over Stephen Curry.
Even Dame said today, basically, or yesterday, whatever it was, basically that, yeah, like when I was in the same position, no one gave me love. So
we'll get to that later on.
Steve Nash won MVP for doing the same exact thing Chris Paul's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But Steph Curry, who might not even get to the playoffs?
Well, like I said, Steph he's not gonna win it. They're gonna give it to Jokic, but
he shouldn't be a
I feel like this is a great place to go ahead and start the show. Welcome to another edition of Two Peas in the Biscuit. I'm your co-host Ian. I got my other co-host with me, Lawrence. What's happening?
Fat Thanos on this beat.
Fat Thanos. Yeah, you back. We're gonna welcome another guest with us. We got the homie Richie Krims with us. What's happening with you, my brother?
How we living, guys? Doing great.
Glad to have you on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. As I said, thank you all for having me on. Really blessed and appreciative of this opportunity to speak my mind on things like this.
We're glad to have you on the show. And on the run from the cops, we got our homie Keion.
GTA.
Hey, look.
He's got 4 stars right now.
Hey, look,
on the way down.
I ain't got no helicopter chasing me yet, so I'm not doing that great on GTA right now.
L2, R2, L1, R1.
I'm out here with my boy CJ from San Andreas.
I'll say Keion out there riding around talking about fuck 12.
Lester has entered the chat.
Well, since we were already talking about it, we got the NBA awards. Nominees were handed out. So we got, for the MVP, you got Jokic, Embiid, and one Steph Curry. That also one Steph Curry, who was struggling against the Grizzlies right now to even make the playoffs. So I guess the question would be, continuing on with the conversation, how we feel about Steph being a nominee and possibly not making the playoffs. Krims.
Yeah, I'll start. Steph obviously, has put up the gaudy numbers at that to get his team in this position to be in the play-in situation. But a lot of times, historically, it comes down to numbers versus winning, and usually a lot of times the player of a more winning team gets the love. So yeah, like I can make a case for both for and against. I would say I thought Chris Paul would be the third candidate. He should have been on a lot more ballots than he clearly was. But that it is what it is.
Okay. Lawrence, how you feeling about that?
Oh man, I really empathize, sympathize with you guys a lot, especially when we talk about my guy Chris Paul. Everywhere he's gone, he's been a winner. It would have been nice to put him in the third spot, but listen, ifs and woulds, coulds and shoulds. If LeBron was healthy, he still wouldn't be in the third spot. If AD was healthy, he still wouldn't be there. If Embiid had been healthy, he probably wins it. What about Giannis? I just don't know. And listen, Steph Curry is out there playing with Draymond Green, who is the most important player on the Warriors, averaging 7 points a game. The second leading scorer is Wiggins. They got a G leaguer out there. They actually have 2 G leaguers out there. Their rookie was hurt. The guy's putting up 32 a game, almost 50% from field goals, shooting 42 from 3. I just don't know. He's not going to win it. Like, we all know he's not going to win it. But would I have liked to see Chris Paul gets more love? Sure. But I would also have liked to see Giannis get more love too. Nobody's going to be happy with this thing.
Yeah. So, Keion, how you feeling about one Steph Curry, let's say, basically playing with the Washington Generals?
Asinine when we give votes for individual narratives. The reason why Steph Curry gets this finalist vote is because of the streak he went on and this comeback kind of season. That's cool. If you want to give Steph Curry a comeback award, NBA, create a comeback award. But don't be out here giving guys that might not even make the playoffs as we watch this game right now, MVP finalists. There are 3 other guys that I could pick over Steph Curry that could have been a finalist. One, Chris Paul, who I think should have been finalist, especially if we're going off narrative, and we gave Steve Nash MVP twice for having the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs. At first place at that for Steve Nash. And then with kind of the same numbers that Nash was getting. I just don't understand why we are giving it to a person that's in 8th place. Another guy that could have been is Giannis, like Lawrence said. Giannis has still been doing great, but we knew that he wasn't going to be a finalist because people want to see more of what he does in the playoffs than what he's done in the regular season. And then a third guy who I'm going probably way left out there, Julius Randle, I think deserved a nod over Stephen Curry after what he's done. But they're like, we're going to give him most improved player anyway. So that's all fine and dandy. Overall, I'm not giving MVP to a dude that might not even make the damn playoffs.
Well, that was Keion in his car, truck driving that night, letting his feelings all be known. Yeah.
But he was coming in hot.
Yeah, he really felt some way. It's almost like we talked.
These finalist votes in general, I think there were a lot of people snubbed in different categories, but the Steph Curry MVP one really threw me off, especially because, and as we talked about on the podcast before, of how I felt with Russell Westbrook winning it at 6th place. I'm definitely not giving it to a guy who may not even make the playoffs, because as well as, this is my other argument, people love the fact that he's the scoring leader. Before him, it was Bradley Beal, who was also in the same seating as Steph Curry. If Steph Curry didn't get scoring leader, are you also going to give Bradley Beal a finalist vote? Absolutely not. So everybody who has these reasons of why Steph Curry should be MVP, I believe, you can say the same thing about Bradley Beal. Except people are going to say, oh, but he got Russell Westbrook, but they're still in the same position. And it's not like anybody else other than Russell Westbrook, you trusting on the Washington Wizards. Ain't nobody talking about Rui Hachimura, Isaac Bonga. Oh, I ain't heard Alex Len name all season. So why are we rewarding Steph Curry, as well as the fact of if you put any other superstar on the Warriors, you're not giving the excuse that they don't have a team. You're not. LeBron on that Warriors team, and if he got 9th, 8th, 9th place, 10th place, you're going to be like, oh, LeBron's trash. KD, trash. Giannis, trash. That's the criticism. But nah, the babyface assassin, he gets a pass because he has Draymond as the 2nd best player. Boo-hoo. You're a superstar. Lead and will your team to the playoffs.
This sounds like the same argument I always get for Westbrook. And, we talk bad about Westbrook and, how he's not a shooter. All he does is pass stats and whatnot. But, look who he played with. He literally had the Oklahoma City Generals in Oklahoma City after Durant left. He goes to Houston for that 1 year, and you got to deal with D'Antoni. We see how everybody doesn't work out with D'Antoni except for James Harden. Mm-hmm. And then he literally goes to the Washington Generals. And, Beal always catches a flat tire. And one thing Russ said the other day, he can't control guys making shots. He can make the passes all day, if Dallas Bertans can't hit the broadside of a barn, ain't nothing. That ain't Russ's fault, but we make it Russ's fault.
And all of y'all brought up.
Go ahead, Krim.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, y'all, Lawrence and Keion brought up Giannis, and Giannis was really interesting because, you know, when you look at his numbers, they're statistically right on par, even better than his MVP years of the last couple of years. To me, I wondered, him not being a finalist, is that a product of quote unquote voter fatigue, and, you know, just the people that make these, like the media and the writers, are just like, all right, we want to see someone else win or, you know, be a finalist. That to me was interesting in and of itself.
Oh, it's definitely voter fatigue, because Ramona Shelburne even admitted at one point in time that she wanted to vote for LeBron just because of the narrative.
Oh,
when you have something, when you literally have a voter that says, I'm voting for the narrative, that's
not right either.
Yeah, I remember when she said that. I really like Ramona. I read a lot of her stuff. Listen to her 30-30 about the Clippers and their former owner. She does good work. But when she said that, I was like, woo! Oh no, that can't be the way that we vote MVP. But yeah, I'm in agreement with Ian. There is some voter fatigue. Anytime you win one, you got to be better the second year, and you got to be better the third year. Giannis has been good his first year, his second year, and kind of the same the third year. So now it's kind of like, what's next for Giannis? In order for him to win another MVP, he's going to have to shoot 35% from three, or come up with a great post game. His team's going to have to win 60 plus games easily. So, or something like that. But, man,
only way he can win another MVP is if he wins a title, because that's pretty much everybody's waiting for. Get a title, then maybe we can give you some other stuff, some of the individual accolades again.
Well, that's what's interesting too,
which is also ridiculous.
Yeah,
I was just
it's a regular season award.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. This is a regular season award, and everyone wants to talk about, well, you know, he hasn't done the postseason. Well, if you're talking about a regular season most valuable player award, and you want to give a postseason one, so be it. But this award is for the regular season, and everyone always seems to, like, you know, you have the votes, and obviously before the end of the season, but it seems like the postseason still affects somehow people's judgments anyway.
Yeah. Yep. But it definitely does, and like I said, it shouldn't, because like all of us agree here, it's a regular season award. May I also state for the record that I never want Keion upset with me, because he was so mad just then. You know, I was about to put on my Infinity Gauntlet to calm you down. You know, I almost did it. I thought that fro was gonna spontaneously grow back.
Look,
I still know.
I'm about people getting. Look, when you want guys to get their flowers, and when guys don't get their flowers, I get upset. And I think if you can't get MVP, I'm not saying that Chris Paul should have won MVP. Mm-hmm. I at least want his flowers to be a finalist for the NBA to recognize what he did this season as a leader and bringing the Suns. Granted, Devin Booker had a great year as well, but you have a situation where a guy comes on the team and completely turns that team around from a 9th seed who hasn't been in the playoffs since 2009 to them being playoff team in second place in the West, over the Clippers, over Denver, over the Lakers. Like, you gotta give some type of roses to that.
And people expected Phoenix to be better, but certainly not number 2 seed in the West. Better, you know.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm a CP3 guy. I've followed his career forever, and everywhere he's gone, he's made a franchise better. You know, obviously his best year at MVP was 2008. That was the year Kobe won it. But that was also a very impressive year. He took a team with, you know, David West being the second best player to perennially in the playoffs. Then he went to the Clippers. The Clippers were the joke, the laughing stock. Him, Blake
Before you continue,
yeah.
That New Orleans team was actually pretty doggone good when you think about it.
Without Chris Paul?
You had Chris Paul, you had Tyson Chandler.
I said without. Without Chris Paul. What did he do before he got there?
He got drafted there. He was there 4 years with them. What are you talking about? You act like he wasn't there, like he just showed up that year in 2008. No, he'd been there.
I'm talking. What were the New Orleans Hornets before they were the Charlotte Hornets, right? Right?
No, they had already moved. They had already moved to New Orleans by the time he got there. But you got to remember, he went to Oklahoma City because of the.
It was the same bum squad. So they were a bum squad. Then Chris Paul gets there. Then they become a reasonable team.
Gradually.
Are you with? Are you following?
They gradually become a good team with more talent around Chris Paul. Because again, that team had Tyson Chandler. That team had a very good Peja Stojakovic, fresh off the Sacramento years. You still had you had Tyson Chandler in the middle.
Please don't mention Tyson Chandler, because when Tyson Chandler was a Bull, he was a bum. So when you're saying that, Tyson Chandler I don't care. He was on the team and he was a bum.
We're gonna talk about another 18-year-old that folks was calling a bum, and he calling out folks now. So watch yourself.
Wasn't David West an all-star that year?
He was an all-star with Chris Paul.
One of the years.
David West was an all-star with the Hornets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but when Chris Paul left, what happened to David West? Was he all-star then?
He was still pretty good. He went to Indiana.
He was still pretty good.
Serviceable. Yeah, serviceable for sure.
So he went from all-star to serviceable.
I mean, if you're looking at power forwards in the West during that time, there wasn't a lot of great ones. Like Dirk Nowitzki was the best one, and Tim Duncan. But at that time, Kevin Garnett already moved to the East. David West had some bangers. This is still when they were doing centers, power forwards, small forwards, and stuff like that. So it was kind of hard for him to be an all-star in the East. We gotta look at it. It was like Chris Bosh. It was
KG was still getting all-star votes.
KG was still getting all-star votes.
What's his production like? Was his production the same?
Started getting all-star votes like in the East.
And Al Horford was getting all-star votes just for getting 15 and 8.
So
they loved him in Atlanta. See, but here Joakim Noah. We forgot about Joakim Noah during that time.
Carlos Boozer got an all-star nod during those times.
And Boozer was in Utah during that time. So again, you're talking about a good team in New Orleans, and you're trying to build up Chris Paul. Go ahead and look it up. Yeah, leave the screen and look this stuff up, buddy. You're trying to build up somebody and bring others down at the same time.
No, I don't have to build up Chris Paul. His record speaks for itself wherever he goes. So there's no need for me to build that up.
But at the same time, you're downgrading everybody else around him.
Because Tyson Chandler was not an all-star or anything until he played with Chris Paul. Like Chris Paul lobbed the dude into notoriety. Right? Like he had never tasted the playoffs until he played with Chris Paul, right?
He was on that Bulls team that made the playoffs that lost to the Wizards in the first round, all because Scott Skiles was stupid and decided to bench Eddie Curry.
Oh, I forgot about Eddie Curry.
That's a name.
There's a name you don't hear often.
Tyson Chandler
anymore.
Tyson Chandler was a legit defensive player, rebounder those first years in Chicago, and then he went to New Orleans and was very good then. And then he got to Dallas and won a ring. And actually played pretty doggone good in Charlotte too. Then got to Dallas, then switched over and went to the Knicks and became defensive player of the year.
So would you like to hear what Tyson Chandler did with the Bulls, since we're all on Tyson Chandler was so awesome.
Again,
so Tyson Chandler, first season 6 points a game, second season 9 points a game, Third season, 6 points a game. You see the trend here. Bulls 8 points a game the next season, but he did get almost 10 rebounds. In 2006, 5 points a game, 9 rebounds. Then he gets the Hornets, 9.5, 12.4 a game. Then the next year, the year that Chris Paul almost won MVP, he was 12 and 12. Do you not see the effect that Chris Paul had on his game? I mean,
we're not saying that he didn't have an effect, but we're saying that Tyson Chandler wasn't a bum.
I'm looking at a dude that came in after that came out straight out of high school, and as he matured, he got better.
Oh, we're not talking about Kwame Brown.
We're not getting there yet because Tyson wasn't destroyed by didn't have to deal with Mike. So
all I'm trying to say is Chris Paul is the ointment that will fix your team. That's all I'm trying to say.
It sounds like you're giving more reasons why he should have been a finalist this year.
Right. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you, Keion. I don't, but shoot, man, neither Steph or Chris are going to win it. So it kind of doesn't matter that much. Neither one's gonna win it.
I think it matters.
It sounds like you're just arguing just to argue.
I'm not arguing,
Lawrence.
I'm not arguing.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
See, look at it. Look at this. See, Richie. see what I got to do.
This is what you have to go. This is what you have to go through every night.
This is what I got to do. They both jump on me.
No, that's nothing we can't handle.
Ian, how did you feel that Giannis was left out this year?
I expected it because again, that was the narrative coming in from day one. If Giannis would have had to average 50 points a game for him to get the MVP again. And that's all because everybody doesn't care about him winning MVP awards. They're all about what do you do in the postseason.
I agree.
So, I mean, what can't be mad at it. Does that thought process make sense for a regular season award? No, but that's the thought process that a lot of voters and I think a lot of fans had in general. Giannis got to win in the postseason for them to really care.
I agree.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate.
Side note: the finalist is down by 7 with 3 minutes left.
Really?
Not getting playoffs.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. But on to the other awards.
Giannis got 35 though.
He got 35, but he needed about 45 right about now.
Hey, the second best player got 4 points.
That's your boy, though.
That ain't my boy. That's Ian boy.
That's definitely your whipping boy.
Oh, it is my whipping boy. You know what?
One he might want to see.
He would not be my whipping boy if I had not heard such madness. But I digress. Let's continue.
I just know Ja Morant out here becoming a star.
Yeah. Well, that first game that they played, he could not throw it in the water, and he's making some jump shots today.
He found.
Well, one thing that the Memphis Grizzlies are doing well this game, before I got into the car, is they are really playing really good defense, especially during the passing games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were, from what I was seeing, they were just collapsing the hell out of the lanes and like making someone other than Steph beat them. I guess it's working.
Yeah. Speaking of defense, defensive player of the year, you got Ben Simmons, Rudy Gobert, and who's the other person?
Draymond Green, the guy who said, he does not care about defense.
Yeah, I literally threw a blank on him for good reason.
Just because he said that, he should not win it.
Rudy Gobert getting crossed up by Booker that time, though. He's supposed to be Defensive Player of the Year. Come on, man.
No. Rudy deserves the finalist nod. I will say there are two guys that I think can be debated, not necessarily saying they should have been. Well, one of them should have been a finalist. Well, both of them should have been finalists over Draymond Green. But my first snub was Bam Adebayo. What he's done this year has been amazing on defense. And I never give credit to this team, but I'm giving credit to them today. Clint Capella of the Atlanta Hawks should have been can be debated to be a defensive player of the year this year.
I can't argue with that one. Lawrence, you got any other snubs in mind?
No, I think Keion hit it on the head. All I can tell you is I think Rudy Gobert is going to win it. But yeah, Clint Capella should get a little bit more love. He's probably the best defensive player in Atlanta. Wouldn't Clint lead the league in rebounds this year?
Yeah, Clint led in rebounds this year, and I think he actually led in. Well, not led, but I think he's in top 5 in total blocks this year.
Yeah. So
could y'all make a case for Drew Holiday?
I think every year you can make a case for Drew Holiday.
I was thinking about him, but he's tough to be a finalist over.
It's so hard for a guard to be. It's just so hard for a guard to be in a defensive conversation.
Yeah,
I think Gary Payton is the only one to win it as a point guard. Right?
Yep.
And Ben Simmons might win it, and he's 6 foot damn 8'10".
No, he's 6'10".
Right,
he's 6'10".
He's cheating in the point guard position.
Oh my God! And the Warriors have came back.
Dun 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 dun.
They call that Steph. Wow.
Steph Curry with the shot.
How much time's left?
1 minute left.
Minute left.
Curry gets to the line. They're down by 2.
30 like I'm Curry.
Oh, yeah, got him with the body. Yep. So
Draymond jumped from 4 to 8 points. Look at Draymond go.
He heard you.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see who was in most improved was I saw Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle,
and
that's gotta be Randle.
And Jeremy Grant. That's an interesting one. Jeremy put up big numbers for a losing Detroit team because somebody had to get 20 a game. Julius Randle, played out of his mind for literally 2 months.
MVP numbers beginning of most improved.
And you got to start somewhere.
And then Michael Porter Jr. really took over once Jamal Murray got hurt because he was able to get those shots that Jamal was taking up. So, Krims, who would you have for most improved?
Most improved, I would say Julius Randle. The Knicks are the 4 seed in the East, and no, I don't think anyone in their right mind, even I as the resident Knicks fan, would have thought we would be hosting a first-round series this year, even with Tibbs coming back as being our coach, rather. But yeah, like Randall, he does everything well. Like his shooting is otherworldly for a guy his size, and yeah, like he's a great facilitator. He draws. You watch him get double teamed, and he's like I haven't seen a big man like that. Like that's so comfortable being double teamed and being able to kick it out to an open teammate as comfortable as him in quite a while. So yeah, he definitely deserves it. The other two, Jeremy Grant, you can make a case for. Obviously, he's taken that leap as the guy, I guess, the alpha dog in Detroit. And Michael Porter, to me, plays that, I don't know, I call it the go to hell ball. Like anytime he gets the ball, he's like, I'm a chuck, like I'm a chucker. Like I don't know, but like he's really improved as a shooter, also, obviously. And the Nuggets, without him, and obviously Jokic's services, are the 3 seed in the East as well for a reason. But yeah, I would give it to Ren.
Keion, who you got?
Unanimous decision should go to Julius Randle for what he has done this year. This is something that's very interesting. I remember in the draft, his comparison was Josh Smith. It was so hilarious.
I can believe
Jay Smooth, baby.
I could believe that.
Put some respect on Jay Smooth's name.
Remember draft, he was compared to Josh Smith. But if y'all remember, Josh Smith's comparison was LeBron James. because they always thought that the Hawks thought that Josh Smith was going to be a left-handed LeBron James. Where it messed up is that Josh Smith, was not going to be any type of good caliber player because he always shot threes to the point that Hawks fans literally chanted, "No, Josh, no."
Hold on,
But
10 seconds. Steph Curry with the ball, bring it up court.
Yeah, we're going to overtime.
Draymond with the flow. Oh God, Draymond, Jesus,
that's sagging off basketball for you.
That man took a floater from 10 feet and missed everything.
Of course.
But
most important player.
Yo.
Julius
That's
Randle,
why everyone clears out the lane and lets Draymond shoot,
Yo,
shit like that.
Yo, look, if you see this replay.
Wait. Should we just talk about the fact they double teamed him from half court? And Draymond,
I mean, of course, again,
airball the floor.
He literally airballed the floor. It came off his hand so bad.
That's not that surprising because it's Steph. I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah,
but
right as he picks up almost.
That you're with you tied, you are really risking one player just having a lucky shot just to make sure that Steph doesn't get the one-on-one.
Oh yeah, I mean, but again, you've seen Steph hit half-court shots just for the fun of it.
If Draymond waits another split second, he gets fouled there. Like he rushed that. Like
no, if
he almost fouled Xavier Tillman too.
If Draymond doesn't shoot that, they're better off.
Right. But even if that's what my point. Like even he still made it was the right basketball play by Steph, and Draymond made the wrong basketball decision. Just wait another split second to draw the contact, and then you get to go to the line and make one, you win the game.
And if that's Westbrook we're talking about, we're saying, oh, why didn't you just shoot it? Shoot, you really, if you really want to win the game, you shoot it yourself.
Hey, if it was LeBron, they would say, why did he pass it? You should have shot it from half.
I was just finna say, everyone was talking about the finals last year, and he obviously made the right play, kicking out to Danny in the one game. Everyone's like, why did LeBron shoot a triple team contested layup shot? When Danny Green was literally
your man's booty butt naked wide
yards open. Well, that's not the point.
Yeah. So back to.
But yes,
Lawrence, who you going with?
So I'm going with Julius Randle. Leads the league in minutes. Had an amazing season this year. The Knicks are the fourth seed? Fourth seed.
Respect on their name.
My bad, bro. My bad. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me like you got mad at the MVP voters. I'm scared. But listen, it should be Julius Randle all the way. 2 should be Jeremy Grant. I know a looter in the riot. I get it, but who knew Jeremy Grant could put up these numbers? I didn't. And Michael Porter Jr., even a little bit before Jamal Murray got hurt, he was really hooping. That young fella is cold.
It's always weird when I see second-year players get most improved player votes, though.
Yeah, it's a little early for that.
Yeah, I don't know who would, because I believe that Julius Randle should be unanimous.
I concur.
So it's very hard to figure out who deserves that third spot. I do agree with Jeremy Grant, but it is very weird when you see a second year player get most improved. Now there are special occasions. I think didn't Devontae Graham get a finalist his second year?
Yeah. Was it between Luka or something?
Yeah, and it was but he was literally averaging 4 points to averaging 17. So that was kind of a anomaly, and I would take that. But I don't know. It's very interesting, but I think Julius should get unanimous.
Well, that's where I come in and get Keion mad at me because I'm going Michael Porter Jr. because his scoring went from 9 points a game to 19 points a game. So, yeah,
I'm not mad at it.
He went from bad back, not playing at all his rookie year to, now he's one of those X factors for Denver, and especially last year in the playoffs when, he had the press conference and literally said, Jamal got to pass the ball, stop being a ball hog, and everybody looked at him like, who is this dude saying all this? And then he went out and started killing the Clippers. It was like, oh, that guy, the guy that was, the number one recruit coming out of high school, going to Missouri, that played 3 games and was still a lottery pick.
Also was voted by the draft class as the best shooter of his class.
Yeah, so yeah.
No, I'm not mad at it. I just said it's just weird.
Yeah.
To see a second year player get most improved, because I feel like he's still going to improve.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Julius. Julius was still averaging 19 a game last year, almost 20 a game last year. It's just the fortunes of the Knicks have changed this year to where they're winning along with him doing that scoring.
This is true. I even think in New Orleans he kind of had the same numbers.
Yeah, what did he have in New Orleans? He had 1 year. I want to say he had 21 a game. Yeah, he had 21 his 1 year in New Orleans.
Yeah, so he's always been doing well, but it's crazy that he does have MVP type numbers this year. As I said, I think that he would have got over. I would have voted him over Steph Curry for MVP.
Yeah. It's one of those where you look at it and you just kind of think about it where, you got to remember when he came in his first game, he breaks his leg and like 2 minutes in and you don't see him. Then he's there with those bad Kobe years, unfortunately. So when he's as a Laker and then he moves on to the Pelicans and gets that 1 year, and now he's with the Knicks and, he's coming to his own all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Sounds like me. I'm coming into my own. 42 years old. I'm coming into my own.
Own what?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
What do you own?
Don't worry about it. You worried about the wrong thing, my brother.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
He won't say that to his own lady. She asked him a question. He ain't gonna say, "Don't worry about it."
No, I won't. I like living.
I like my son.
Hey, Lawrence is a smart man when it comes to him being a husband, so I ain't mad at that. We gotta do what it takes to survive.
It's all about survival out here.
I hear that. And speaking of being all about surviving, the real playoffs actually start tomorrow. The series. Mm-hmm. So what series are you most looking forward to?
I am so hyped for this postseason. I can't wait.
Tell me how hyped you are, Krims. Which one are you hyped for the most?
Matchup wise?
Yes.
There's a lot of good ones, honestly. Like everyone thinks on paper, like, the top seeds. I'm really looking forward to this Hawks-Knicks series. There's a lot of storylines. 2 teams that were expected to. Well, I guess the Hawks had a little slightly higher expectations with all the moves they made, but the Knicks obviously were expected to be, kind of doormats like they've been the last 7 years. And in comes Coach Tom Thibodeau, and we have the best defense in the league. Statistically. Well. Technically second or third rating, whatever. But Trae Young in his first, playoff series, really hyped to see, how he comes out, what the Hawks are going to do rather to stop Julius Randle, who we've obviously discussed in detail, because they haven't really been able to do anything in their regular season games to contain him, dropping 40-piece nuggets on them, with ease. John Collins is going to be probably under some scrutiny, defensively. We'll see. I mean, the matchups individually, is RJ Barrett going to guard Trae Young or Frank Ntilikina? What's his role going to be? There's a lot. I think this series goes 7. To me, getting the home court was very important for either team. I think the Knicks will win in 7 because of the home court now, 15,000 fans. So Spike Lee's gonna be with all his closest friends.
Wait.
So,
I thought Spike wasn't going back to the Garden until Dolan sold the team.
That's what he said.
So if Spike is in there for a playoff game, I'm gonna have a real problem.
Spike
it's really interesting because I was just gonna say it's really interesting with the whole dynamic too, because Brooklyn, if y'all may or may not have been seeing on Twitter, they're like, having James Harden these promos to sell 50% off discounted tickets. And when Kevin Durant went out of the way to say, "Oh, like we're the cooler team, we're the more relevant team or whatever in this city. This is where I wanted to be." And everyone's talking about the Knicks just the same, and everyone's selling out the Garden and not Barclays. So that to me is pretty interesting too.
Yeah, I'll say, and you'll see Spike at the games. He's just gonna be at State Farm, not Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the road. He'll catch on the road
Lakers.
Yeah, I expect him to be at the road games. Definitely not at any home games. Keion, what matchup are you looking forward to seeing?
I always like seeing the good friends go against each other. So it's Chris Paul versus LeBron James.
Banana boat.
Yeah, banana boat crew going at it. I think it's going to be very interesting due to the fact that we don't know how healthy DeAndre Ayton is. I don't know if he's even going to be playing this series. I hope he's back. As well as the fact of the other series I'm looking forward, two guys that absolutely hate each other, Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid. It's going to be now, may I mind you, I do believe Philly is going to sweep Ja Morant. And the Warriors are going home. Well, they're already at home. They're going to the couches.
They're staying home.
Cancun, man.
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
Cancun.
But I definitely like those two matchups the most. It's very ironic because I say, good friends and then good enemies. It's always good to see those type of matchups. It's like watching Isaiah Thomas and Magic go against each other. You're about to see LeBron and Chris Paul, who are two of the highest basketball IQs in the game, going at one another. And I want to see who's the better coach on the floor. I don't think that it's going to be as easy as everybody says, because everybody immediately thinks that the Lakers are going to just mollywop the Suns. And I'm like, if you've seen what the Suns have done, especially with Coach of the Year finalist Monty Williams, who I think is going to win it, I think that it can go 7 games.
You think Monty's going to beat Tibbs out for Coach of the Year?
Absolutely.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Lawrence, what you looking forward to?
So, along with Keion, I'm also looking forward to the Banana Boat Bros going at it. Suns Lakers. That's a classic rivalry, going back from Magic and Kevin Johnson and Kobe and Kevin Nash. Now we got Chris Paul and LeBron James. So I'm looking forward to that.
Wait. Kobe and who?
Kobe and Kevin Nash. Steve Nash. Sorry, went wrestling.
You said it
Get
twice.
late.
Yes.
Kevin Nash.
I'm going wrestling.
Yo, Ian
He's like, I'm
knew that
tired.
he was going to say it twice.
Yes.
Ian knew he was going to say it twice.
Yes.
I've been doing that a lot lately. But anyway, what was I saying? I'm looking forward to the Clippers and the Mavericks. I want to see if Luka can have that game where he lays a smack down and shows everybody that he should be in the MVP conversation too. Series. Stop correcting me. You sound like my mama.
I was gonna say people forget that the Mavericks kind of had them on the ropes last year before Porzingis went down. So that's gonna be. I mean, that'll be a tough. Clippers shouldn't be going into the series expecting a cakewalk. Like they gotta be on their guard.
I want to see Brooklyn and Boston. I think Boston is going to get their skull drug. And
Sweet.
You just gonna go through all the matchups?
You said which games am I looking forward to watching? And I'm gonna watch. I'm telling you ones I'm gonna watch.
Yeah. You're gonna watch.
And since it would take a lot less time. You stop interrupting. How about that?
You still listen to them all?
My diminutive friend.
Portland, Denver to me is also very interesting because obviously you have the storylines with Joker, MVP, and Dame and CJ. You know, can they finally, can they break through? You know, feel like the pressure's on Terry Stotts. His job can be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of star power, obviously, and who's going to step up for Denver? Obviously, with no Murray.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Now I'm finished. You want to go in?
Finally, since you named every matchup out there except for one, I guess I'll say the Bucks and Heat is a matchup.
Don't nobody care.
Watching too.
Mm-hmm.
Side note: MVP finalist taken out because of defensive situation, and your MVP don't on the court to play defense because he can't.
Or maybe he has 5 fouls.
And give somebody else a foul.
I mean, but if I know he's out there with 5 fouls and I'm inbound the ball, I'm throwing it right in his. At least I'm throwing it to whomever he's guarding because he's got no choice but to foul him.
Would you say
Keion is rather spicy today?
The other superstar sit out?
Yeah,
Keion, you are
Joel Embiid.
Rather spicy.
I think we give that light skinned man too much credit.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
All right,
let's have a conversation, man.
Let me get my stance ready. My therapist.
Hey, Krims, I remember I told you about race talk. We usually don't get serious except for then.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Apparently, this is now. Keion, what's up with the self hatred? What's going on here? We're all United Shades of America. What's going on here?
I understand how great Steph Curry is and what he does, and it's so amazing. But just like Aisha Curry on Red Table Talk, it's just not.
Wow. No, he didn't do that. He didn't break the red table.
Not
Jada. Not that nonsense.
Not Jada Pinkett.
Just like the Red Table Talk, it's just not enough for me. It's not enough.
This stuff it's rigged for ratings. I'm sorry.
Bull gay. Oh wow. That's how we're ending games. That's disrespectful. I don't even know who this kid is.
That is Desmond Bain, and that's how you finish it off.
That is how you finish it off. That's
one of those where I still one of my favorite memories. I wish LeBron had made that dunk at the end of Game 7 when he got fouled. Actually, I feel like he walked, but that's a whole nother. He definitely walked.
He definitely walked.
My man caught the ball and ran. Didn't take not nan dribble at all.
Don't these playing games count as playoff games?
No,
because they're not regular season games.
They're not regular season games either. They're literally just playing games. So
they're their own category.
Yeah, so Jason Tatum's 50-point game does not count towards his stats.
No.
It's like the one. It's like I guess the basketball equivalent, like the 1-game playoff in baseball, but in the old days when it was like a tie-breaking game.
Hey man, is Kelly Oubre wearing a lace shirt?
Yes. But are you surprised?
I'm not. But then I guess my surprise is in my voice saying it. Like, wait, what?
I sound less surprised talking about Steph Curry taking 13 shots a game.
Okay, again, we expect Steph Curry to take that many threes. We do not. I did not expect to see a man wearing a lace shirt ever.
Expect the unexpected.
Even on Pride Week.
And with this result, Steph Curry is out of the MVP finalist.
I think Keion sabotaged the game. That's what I think.
Nope, because just like what's his name? What coach said it? Oh, good old Nate McMillan, who I also thought got snubbed for Coach of the Year finalist, said, hey, they want the Lakers. They want the Knicks in the playoffs. I think the same thing happened for the Warriors. I think they wanted the Warriors in the playoffs, but Steph Curry couldn't get it done.
Here's one thing. The over-under for Steph Curry points was 38.5. He finished with 39.
What did he finish with? Fake. Vegas knows. Vegas always knows.
Could he use 40 and some change? Yeah, we definitely got a good playoff coming up. Utah and Memphis.
We want to make We want to make predictions, or is that too maybe for the next one?
I don't know. We can make predictions.
Might as well. I mean, who you got coming out the first round?
So I'll try to do. I think the Heat beat the Bucks. Heat in 6. That's my upset.
You're kicked out of here.
I'm done. I'm banished.
That's what I
it's my one appearance. It's my one pinch hit. My one pinch hit appearance. He
went from FOP to FOH.
FOP to EO. I went from FOP to EOP. Enemy of the podcast.
No, you ain't going to be enemy. Just FOH. Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. Where's Shea Serrano, the FOH army? No, so I think it's just like I didn't like. A lot of people are gonna like talk about what Giannis said. Like, I mean, he just kept it. He kept it a buck, no pun intended. Like, he was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if we're gonna win this series. Like, but like the Heat seem to be on a kind of a little roll. They're healthy. Then throughout the season when they had a lot of issues, obviously COVID and stuff. Jimmy Butler seems to be hitting a stride. Bam, Adebayo, of course, defensive stalwart, possible snub for DPOY. I think the Heat beat the Bucks, and I don't think the Bucks are as good last year as even like the last couple of years. I don't know, like it, and it's not even as much the Bucks themselves as much as like I'm not a fan of Coach Bud Budenholzer. I don't think he's a regular season coach. He doesn't really seem to adjust in the postseason. It's not a knock on Giannis, not a knock on Milton, Holiday. I think it comes down to coaching, and I think Spo is a better coach. But Heat in 6, Knicks in 7. As I said, Brooklyn, I think they'll do gentlemen. They'll give them one game. They'll give Boston one at home. And what's the 4th series in the East? Washington, Philly. Probably Philly in 5, maybe 6. Russ could power them to another game, but I don't see Philly having major problems. I don't see Daniel Gafford stopping Embiid for the 7-game series. So that's my East. And then West, it's hard to bet against LeBron, even though I guess they're a slight favorite. Probably Lakers in 6, maybe 7. It might take a 7. I think Phoenix will come. Phoenix will be ready. They've done really well this year. Utah and now Memphis. Shoot, I don't know. I think Utah's a little overrated. I feel like I don't know that I'll hear your all's takes, but I think Utah's a little overrated. They'll be challenged, but they should win one series, and especially it hinges on Mitchell if he's healthy. He's supposed to come back, obviously. I think for game 1, but what was the other 2? Mavericks, Clippers. I think Mavericks, Clippers is gonna be interesting. I think the Clips will win in 6, and Portland, Denver's a pick. Portland, Denver's a true pick 'em. I think Denver wins. Actually, I think they get by Portland in 7.
All right, since we all made faces, Lawrence.
Yeah, a lot of faces.
Where you want to start with that?
So I don't think that Utah is overrated, especially playing against Memphis. I actually think they were going to drag Memphis something awful. I think they're going to sweep them. They're really going to beat Memphis down, especially because I don't expect Ja Morant to have another game like that. That's what it took for them to be Golden State tonight. They're going to be at full strength. They just got too much firepower. They really have Utah has 4 guys that can give you 30 on any given night. 3 guys that can give you 30. Clarkson, Mitchell, and Bogdanovich. And then for the Heat, if Jimmy Butler was healthy most of the season, I think he would also be in that Defensive Player of the Year conversation. He led the league in steals this year. That Bucks series, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just gonna throw my arms up on that. Bucks Heat. I don't know. I'm gonna pick the Bucks because the Bucks have three of the best defensive players in the league on one team: Giannis, Drew, and PJ Tucker. And then Lakers going to beat the Suns. I don't know how many games. It's going to be an interesting series. And the Clippers are going to beat the Mavericks. I don't know how many games. Depends on if Paul George decides to hit the backboard or not. And I think I'm gonna stop there with my picks because I'm afraid to pick anybody light skinned the way Keion has been acting today. His behavior today, his late night behavior has been unruly.
well, Keion,
that's a strong word, unruly. Wow.
Yeah, Keion being the Miss Society. How you feeling?
I'm in playoff mode. That's what I'm calling this. I'm on.
He's in zero dark Keion mode.
Look.
Yeah, like
they ain't
that.
never had mama's cooking. They ain't never. Hey, look. I got mama's recipe. In the words of Kwame Brown.
Oh.
For the West, I'm gonna go like this. I think the Jazz definitely beat Memphis, even without Donovan Mitchell. They've just been too. They've stayed on top. They've continued to do what they've done the best. And Quinn Snyder is a great coach, and I think he should be in a great conversation. He's a guy that came out of nowhere and just made this Jazz team who they are today, and so I don't think he gets his roses as much.
He's been there forever.
It works now. I mean, he's just doing his thing now. But he's progressed every time he's
works now.
I mean, he's progressed. You got to say he's progressed.
I mean, yeah, they've gotten better, but I mean, what we expect? You've been there. Trust the process. You've been there as long as the process.
I'll give you that. Clippers and Dallas. I'm going Clippers. I'm sorry, Krims, if you think Dallas.
I never said Dallas would beat them. I think it's gonna be a tougher series than people think, just because going off of last year.
I think it'll be exciting, just like last year.
I don't think the Clippers will sweep them. I guess people might think, the Clippers will just wash them. No.
Yeah, Clippers won't sweep, but Clippers definitely. Denver and Portland. I think. That's probably a series that's
the hardest one I think to pick.
That is
Portland. Portland's the worst defensive team in basketball, or one of the worst.
I get that, but with no Jamal Murray for 7 games is, I think, tough. Especially of what we saw Jamal Murray do last year. We're definitely going to see. We got to see something completely different from the Nuggets.
Are you willing to revoke Jokic MVP ceremony if they go out in this series?
Absolutely not. It was regular season. Nope. There's regular season MVP.
Right. Aaron Gordon needs to step it the hell up for me, because he was really quiet down the stretch.
I am going to say Denver. Shout out to David Porter, who's commenting on the pod. I agree with you, David. Denver in 6. Who else we got? We got Lakers and Suns. I think Lakers and Suns go 7, and I got Lakers. That's first round predictions. For the East, Sixers are going to sweep the Wizards. Just too much defensive power, I think, for the Philadelphia 76ers, while the Wizards have none. Knicks and Hawks. I will take any Hawks fans' money. I am putting this out here now. You would love to get
yes.
Yo, my IG is Kid2King. The Hawks are losing to the New York Knickerbockers.
And the Hawks are slight favorites in the series, too.
Yeah, the Knicks are going to beat the Hawks. I love Nate McMillan. I think that they should have hired him as main coach during the season. I hope he gets the job after.
I think they're going to keep him.
I think they're gonna make that happen.
Yeah. I think they'll keep him.
I think they should keep him. He deserves it.
Yeah.
But Tom Thibodeau and that boy Julius Randle, they're gonna put some work in and they're gonna get that dub. Bucks and Heat. Krims, you're wilding. You know the difference between the Bucks this year and the Bucks last year? Eric
Drew Holiday
team and Drew Bledsoe is.
Yes.
The Bucks.
Hold on. What was that name, Keion?
Right.
What was that name, Keion?
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew.
Oh, you call it
yeah.
Bledsoe. Gotcha.
Drew Holiday.
That was good.
It's going to be Drew Holiday is going to be the truth in this series. I get Jimmy Butler swole and everything. No, I don't mean nothing. And for Bucks and for Celtics and Nets, that might be a sweep too. I got the Nets. Jason Tatum is great, but you got that big three in Brooklyn, and that's going to be tough, and especially because Boston, once again, and we said this on multiple occasions, your best defender on Boston is 6'2", and ain't nobody guarded Kevin Durant.
God bless.
The force be with you.
If the Celtics do go out quick, like most of us seem to agree on, is Brad Stevens' job in jeopardy?
We've talked about this. I
don't think he is this for this team in this season, but I feel like they've reached their ceiling with him. Something's got to shake in Boston because
I think
it just has not seemed to work.
And if you have to choose between Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens,
Stevens 100% was gone.
Stevens is going to go bye-bye.
But here's the thing: we're saying he should go, but do you think that Ainge will actually pull the trigger?
I think he will.
Well, yeah, I'm leaning towards that too because it just seems like year after year, you got Brown, you got Tatum, you got now Kemba the last couple of years, all these pieces, and they just don't. It just hasn't clicked. I don't know, it hasn't worked.
I don't think Ainge has the stones to pull the trigger. Because
if it was a player, he would pull the trigger.
It's almost an indictment on him. It's almost an indictment on him being a failure because you got to think you had all those draft picks. And the best you turned them into was Tatum and Brown, but you had about 10 years worth of picks. And you made the blockbuster trade for Kyrie, but that didn't work out.
Right.
But I think if Danny Ainge wants to save his own ass, he has to fire Steve. And he's going to throw Stevens under the bus to make sure that he keeps his. Because if he can hire a coach that just progresses, then he's like, oh, look, see, I told you it wasn't me.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And Ainge has that cachet from when he played, and he's still a quote unquote fan favorite, whatever, probably in Boston. So the optics of that, getting rid of Danny Ainge, even though that's probably the right thing to do, that might not be the best optics either.
Yeah. The homie Dave actually makes a great point. They might use Brown getting hurt as an excuse to keep all.
See, and I was going to bring that up because I saw David's comment, but this is my thing. The position that they were in before the playoffs even started, before Brown even went down, I think that there was jeopardy of somebody getting fired with what they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year to barely making the playoffs. And I think even with Jaylen Brown, with the team that they had, even with injuries and COVID, and I know they dealt with a lot. But again, you didn't expect the Knicks to be over them. You didn't expect the Hawks to be over them. Miami, you probably can say yes, but you didn't expect them to be in no play-in game versus the Wizards. You did not.
But you also had to work. You had the narrative all year of Kemba Walker's bad knees, which was a Danny Ainge signing.
Kemba wasn't good when he had good knees coming to Boston.
Oh no, that's
I
not
ain't
true,
gonna go that
bro.
far.
Kimba was good in Charlotte. He was the
Kimba
man in
was
Charlotte.
Kimba was a savior. He
In
got
Charlotte.
out of here.
In Charlotte, but when he came to Boston and playing with that team, he's not that Boston guy. One, I think he doesn't even have like more than 5 30-point games with the Celtics since being there.
The biggest issue with Boston is they don't have any facilitator playmakers
Yeah,
on there.
look
That's
that up,
the
Ian.
way
I
that
think
the
he
way the
doesn't
team is
have 5
constructed.
30 games.
You know, you got Tatum and Brown. Those guys are great making plays for themselves, but they don't make anybody on their team better. Marcus Smart is their best defender, but you know, Marcus Smart, he's a little bit of a wild card sometimes on offense. You know, he's gonna chuck up a 3-pointer like he's Steph Curry sometimes. You know, Kemba Walker's hadn't been great in Boston. It's been a little bit of a letdown. You kind of need a player that can be the glue guy, if you will, and they don't have that. So I just think that, you know, Danny Ainge has made some poor decisions with the roster. You guys mentioned the draft picks. They haven't had the right mixture of guys on there, because if you have 2 guys that can score the basketball, you need somebody that can get everybody else involved on that team. So does he lose his job after this season? I think it's going to be hard to lose his job with everything that Boston has dealt with. Next season, that's what we're going to be looking at.
All right, so going back to Keion and his statement that Kemba hasn't had 5 30-point games the entire time he's been in Boston. He had 8 of them last year. He also had 2 40-point games in Boston last year. And going into this season,
he has 5 this year. Okay. Hey, look, I can admit when I'm wrong, but
I wasn't going to say anything. I won't say anything.
Lawrence, we're doing this. You know, I still don't. Even with those, Kimba's just been shaky to me. I can admit when, but I'm not looking at Kimba the same way I looked at him in Charlotte.
Yeah, he's definitely not the same player that he was in Charlotte. So
you got to think he was carrying Charlotte, and then he came in with the expectations of replacing Kyrie.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Like, a lot of people were making parallels. Oh, Kemba over Kyrie. You know, like Kemba's gonna be the difference. Boston goes further, you know, than they did with Kyrie. And you know, so at this point,
come on, Dave. Yeah, Conley going to Utah and they in first place. What are you talking about, man? That Kemba's a better fit than Conley is in Utah, and Conley just became an all-star. I ain't see Kemba become an all-star with Boston.
Yeah, he was an all-star last year.
Conley was a sympathy all-star.
Kemba was all-star last year.
Yeah, that was last year. This year, Kemba ain't no all-star.
He ain't been the same Kemba.
But
let's, sure.
It's not the same.
But let's be real. Conley was like a sympathetic all-star where it was like, oh, he's been in the league for the last 20 years.
That's so
an all-star team. Oh, you can be.
You guys are
and Utah. He made it 3 Utah all-stars too, right?
But Conley is one of the reasons why Utah is first place right now. Yeah. Number 1 record in the league.
Yeah.
He is a reason.
I mean, that's a team thing. The team. You got 2 guys that are 6 men a year.
But he's a big reason. Like, we can't say Conley's not a big reason for Utah being in first place right now.
I'll say he is a reason, but I'm not saying he's a big reason. It's not like, oh my God, Mike. I'm not going to hit you with the same Chris Paul argument that Lawrence said earlier, because that'd just be extremely blasphemous and crazy, just like Lawrence's argument earlier in the day. So that being said, he is a fit, but I'm not going to overreact to how he fits. You know. But on to my predictions. So yeah, Boston gets their head bust. Everybody cares, Lawrence. Don't get mad, get glad. Miami gets destroyed by Milwaukee. We're gonna show them what
Homer.
Yeah, of course, Homer. home court advantage actually is
Got the Ray Allen Bucks hat on.
Oh yeah, of course.
Gotta be.
Hey,
They lost
to.
double.
You say what?
Home court advantage can be a reason why we say Raptors didn't even make the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Who else? Washington gets. I think they get 2 games from Philly just on the strength of Russ and Beal. Them.
Did you say Boston sweep? Boston gets swept by Brooklyn?
5. Tatum finds a way to help them get a game.
Yeah, that's right. It's gentleman's sweep.
Who else? Who else is there? Nobody else.
Hawks Knicks.
Oh yeah, Hawks Knicks. That's gonna be a stinky 7-game series. It's gonna be good and bad at the same time, just because
it's gonna be sloppy.
Every game 99 to 97. Yeah.
It's gonna be two fan bases that I can't stand. And
the Hawks and the Knicks.
I wish it'd be a tie and they both lose, but I can see it going 7, and I think the Hawks will 7.
Wait, are those your 2 most hated fan bases? And if so,
I can't stand Atlanta fans and Knicks fans. Doesn't matter what sport. They're both annoying.
I agree with you there.
There's a lot of hate on this pod today. Sheesh.
I was gonna say
playoff mode.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Everyone catching strays.
Shoot.
Sorry for the honesty.
Y'all need some more fiber in that diet, man. Loosen stuff up. You know what I'm saying?
I need some more rum punch.
If Kwame Brown taught me anything, it's that never keep your mouth closed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That ain't the only thing you learn about
fans
Brown.
too, David. Cowboy fans too. They're horrible too. We gonna get the football later. Gotta hate the Cowboy fans. And on to the West now. So I think Utah sweep over Memphis. Memphis getting their win tonight. That was their unofficial playoff win. Phoenix, I think Phoenix beats the Lakers in 6. I still don't believe.
The champs go out first round.
Yeah, I still don't believe AD is healthy. I still don't believe that LeBron's fully healthy, and them boys gonna be coming to run them. You're gonna see a whole bunch of Miles Bridges. You're gonna see a whole bunch of Book. You're gonna see Cam Johnson going bombs away on their head, and Chris Paul just gonna be sitting orchestrating it. And don't be surprised if every single game, Chris Paul.
You think Ayton though can hold up in a 7-game series against Anthony?
That part don't matter. His thing, if you're hitting your perimeter shot consistently, and Phoenix has enough shooters, banging with bigs don't matter. Andre Drummond is not the big impact that everybody thought he was going to be for the Lakers.
So you got LeBron losing his first round.
Right.
Boy,
never lost.
The things they will say about LeBron. The things.
Oh, the timeline will be a war zone.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm so sorry. Somebody had to say it.
It'll be like Keion on
I had to say it. I know the Lakers got the number 1 defense, but them boys, you saw that struggle it was against Golden State. You saw how bad a struggle it was.
It took Anthony Davis getting fouled by Jordan Poole to wake him up. Yeah.
And how much money
Draymond had in a straight jacket?
Not a dime.
I wouldn't either. I can't bet against the Kane.
The 4-5 matchup, Clippers and Mavs. I'm going Mavericks.
You just want longer shifts.
Chess, not checkers.
Somebody's got to win. Me. But real talk, I do believe. You got to remember the Clippers got beat by 50 by the Mavs early in the year. I think the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks are a team that they have the offense to outgun the Clippers. And it's just going to be a question of does Luka does Luka have that complete series, not that complete game? Because we've seen what he does when he has a complete game, 40-something points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists, including a game-winning 3 at the buzzer to make you feel like he's the greatest thing ever. He's about to be the MVP, but he can also hit you with a stinker game the next game. So he needs to have a complete series, and Porzingis needs to play the entire series.
I'm going off the comments real quick. David brings up a really good point, and I agree with him. If the Clips lose first round, fire everybody. You got to break that team completely up. I don't like Kawhi, Paul George, put him somewhere else. You got to start all the way from scratch if you're losing first round to the Dallas Mavericks.
Now here's my question.
I was just going to say,
here's my question to David, and I would like to hear him respond in the comments. Do you fire Tyronn Lue also?
First season.
Everybody.
Everybody underline.
B-O-D-Y. Everybody.
Everybody got to go.
Hey, Chauncey can go too.
What?
Everybody.
Chauncey could find his coaching opportunity somewhere else. I was gonna say Kawhi. I mean, there's no guarantee Kawhi is gonna re-up with them as it is, right? So if they go out again earlier than they're supposed to, yeah. But peace.
Go join the Lakers.
Oh. How the hell should I know? Ask Kawhi.
David and Mark answered your question the same exact way. Hell yes.
Even the popcorn vendor. That's hilarious.
Even the popcorn.
Exactly. Everybody.
Steve Ballmer? No, Steve Ballmer will not tolerate a first round one. Absolutely not. His
Steve Ballmer,
absolutely.
Steve Ballmer's scared to fire people. He still ain't fired his barber for still not cutting off all his hair.
Oh, come on.
That's cold.
Come on. That was harsh. That was mean.
That was me being mad too. I was in the elevator with that man, and that man didn't ask me if my student loans need to get paid off. So
that's all about it.
That sound like you need to be mad at Robert Smith for not paying off your loans till you graduated. But I digress.
He wasn't my president. Hey, I respect the Robert Smith for what he's doing for them young cats.
Yeah. And then good old Nuggets and Blazers. That one. Man.
That's I think that's the toughest.
Tough one.
Tough to pick.
Because Jokic is Jokic. Porter is coming to his own. But Dame Dollar is Dame Dollar. And if Dame Dollar get just a little bit of help, because you got to remember 2 years ago when they played each other in the playoffs and they went 7, Seth Curry had a big series. CJ McCollum had a big game 7, and Dame was still doing his thing too. But Dame had the supporting cast at that time. Do I think Portland does he get that supporting cast in this series? I'm going no. Nuggets win. So that's who all I got going in the next round, going to the second round.
I like that.
Sorry.
That was you were muted.
The key for me in that series with Denver, yeah. The key for me in that series is who's going to be that third option for Denver, because obviously Jokic and Porter. Is it going to be Aaron Gordon? Is it going to be, Facundo is gonna be Facundo Campazzo. I mean, like they have some question marks, but I still think Jokic will be enough.
Let me tell you the greatest secret about the Denver Nuggets. Jokic can pick whoever third option he wants.
Right, that's exactly.
And that's kind of the weapon is everything relies in Jokic's hands. He's the facilitator. He's the guy. He probably knows he's MVP this year, even though he went on an interview and said that's not what I'm worried about. He probably knows he's the MVP this year.
MVP.
So with that, he's gonna be the guy that needs to facilitate who's gonna be that guy. We've seen it before when Jamal Murray has that one bad game in the playoffs. Jeremy Grant stepped up last year. Other guys stepped up this year. So So Jokic knows what he's. I think Jokic is going to know what he's doing. Now the thing is, Dame. There's something that I've seen in Dame that is new this year. Dame's basketball IQ went up this year.
Mm-hmm.
Dame been a little facilitator this year. If you looking at him a little bit, I think Dame is going to surprise people on his play this playoffs. I think we still gonna get that Dame time, but we about to see some Dame game that we ain't seen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And CJ's numbers have gone up a lot too.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is we definitely know that the playoffs are going to be fun. They start tomorrow, bright and early. What, 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock is the first game. Miami and Milwaukee. Got 4 games coming up tomorrow, so let's get ready for this race to July. I can't wait. And it feels weird to be watching NBA basketball in July, but I'll take it. So, time for the shenanigans.
I wish I had a
Kwame Brown.
I do
have the most important topic of the day. This moment in time.
I wish we could have got to it a whole lot sooner, but I got no problem with that. Kwame Brown has been checking everybody. Even so much that Keion had to switch to his old man hat.
I gotta get my Kwame Brown fedora on like he did, man. I gotta get my Kwame fedora on.
Becky with a good hair.
Yeah, so
you're supposed to be stealing people's girls. I couldn't believe that one. That was incredible.
All right, so I guess we gotta get to the backstory, how it all started, because not many people realize.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know where the origins of it. Yeah.
So on All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, a couple weeks ago they had Jeannie Buss on there, and Jeannie Buss was talking about how they got Paul Gasol from Memphis to LA. And she was like, yeah, we made the trade for Powell. And, people didn't realize that, we gave up, Marc Gasol, and Marc Gasol turned out to be as good as he was. He's like, we gave up Marc Gasol, we gave up Kwame Brown, to which Steven Jackson's remark was one player trade. And Jeannie was like, no, we traded Kwame and it was Marc. And Steven Jackson kept on saying, no, it was one player trade. Jeannie, stop. No, it was just one player. To where Matt Barnes was tapping on the leg and laughing with Steven. Fast forward to when Gilbert was on All the Smoke, and Gilbert was talking about his time in Washington and playing with Kwame. And Gilbert wasn't all the way disrespectful as far as the basketball side, but Steven Jackson and Kwame and Matt Barnes wanted to egg on Gilbert to be disrespectful and kept tapping each other and giggling like, nah, call me sorry, he this, he that. Apparently Kwame had enough of it and decided to start his own All the Smoke podcast via his phone, whether it be his bedroom, his office desk, his car ride.
His car.
Yeah, and he decided, set the record straight and start some stuff on his own, whether it be calling one Mr. Barnes, Becky with the good hair. I'm just requoting this. I would never call another grown man a Becky. That is disrespectful, and a fight is coming with that. I, for one, do not condone violence. But I ain't scared either. But I don't condone violence.
Wow, Lawrence didn't have a remark for that one.
No. I did. I made a noise.
I'll deal with Lawrence later. We got this some other with violence. So yes, and Kwame stated some stuff about Steven Jackson. I think the most entertaining part to me have been the rebuttals. Whether it be Matt Barnes saying, "Hey, I don't know what happened. This came out of nowhere. You can come on my show and have a conversation if you really feel some type of way about it." To which Kwame said, "No, I'm not coming on your show, and that's why
Yeah.
stole your girl." You said you was out hanging out with your kids. You know, Derek was hanging out with your kids.
I was like, wow, he really went there. Wow. The man literally woke up and chose violence, like straight up.
But here's the thing. You do not use that phrase around one Kwame Brown or speaking about Kwame Brown because when Jamel Hill accidentally made the mistake of doing that via Twitter and said, Kwame chose violence, to which his response was, "How dare you talk bad about a black man saying I chose violence? I've never been violent to nobody in my life. How dare you do such a thing and degradate me as a black man in America?" To which Jamel was like, whoa, that's a figure of speech. That's just, that's slang. Kwame ain't here for that. Kwame Brown from South Georgia, Brunswick, Georgia, Glenn Academy graduate. He ain't one for the play. And when a man states he ain't for the play, guess what you don't do? You don't play with him.
He kept it really real. Like one of the first IG, it was either Facebook Live or IG Live he was on. He, like, when he was talking about like his background, like, I came from, like being homeless and stuff, I was number one pick, like, and like I did, like, I made, like, you think about it, like, everyone would clown the dog for averaging like 6 and 5 for his career, let's say, as number one pick, but there's only there's 15 guys in the roster. There's 450 players in the league at a given time. So to be one of those guys, no matter what you do once you get there, it's still a great accomplishment. Like I really liked how he kept it a buck.
Keion,
appreciate that.
Keion, who made you, what response made you laugh the most?
Oh man. Derek got the keys to your house, boy. Yeah. That might have been the best quote for me. No. Definitely where you say, "I ain't mad. Do I sound mad? Watch how I say this. Fuck you." See how I just roll off this up. Yo, it's like Kwame Brown. I'm gonna give 2 points for Kwame. I respect Kwame Brown for finally speaking up. 20 years staying quiet is a long time to build up that type of frustration. But with that, he put out, what I liked about in respect is that he put out numbers. He put out his numbers and defended that he wasn't a bust, even though, expectations wise, it was the same. Like, let's be real, Kwame did not reach expectations. I also kind of respect, but I like that he defended himself on that. I respected the fact that he said, "Yo, I may be a bust in the NBA. If y'all may see me as a bust in the NBA, but you can't see me as a bust in life. I put food on my family." Like, I like how he tried to make the narrative that he was winning in life. And as a man, you got to defend yourself. Now this is where it goes left for me when it comes to Kwame Brown. One, that's too many goddamn videos. You cannot rant for 9. That's a total of like 10 hours. That's just wild to me. And then you're saying, no, you're not gonna go on all the smoke after Matt Barnes then gave you the invitation. And I love the way Matt Barnes gave out that invitation. He said, "You can speak your side of the story, and if we need to scrap, we'll scrap, and then we'll shake hands." I respected that out of Matt Barnes.
Looking in the comments, David saying, Barnes gonna fight him.
Like, look, Matt Barnes has no problem fighting. But at the same time, like, Kwame was also on the thing talking about, "I ain't got nothing to lose. I'll beat ball, y'all. I'll beat Stephen A." Like, yo, you threatened Stephen A, but you not stepping up to Matt Barnes like that. So it becomes that type of thing where it's like, yo, you're talking all this stuff, but it looks like your talking is loud in your action at this point. I'm not saying that I condone violence, but how many videos you gonna make? He has his
Might
own
be the only way.
called the Bus
Right.
Life. Like he has 55,000 subscribers. Like it's funny to watch it, sad at the same time, but you know, it comes a point in time where it's just like, hey man, you're done. Be over it. You said your piece. You use your.
I think the part that was surprising to me, if anything, was that like a lot of people, like not even that they're on board with things he was saying, but a lot of people seem to appreciate that he called out for what are perceived as, you know, tough guys in Stack and Matt, and they're like, he's like exposing them as like these fake tough guys. And it was really like interesting to see like the responses like come in real time, like, oh yeah, Barnes and, you know, Stack, they're weak sauce, you know, they're not about that life, you know, and Kwame was like making it known. And so I thought that was, you know, it was surprising and pretty interesting too.
I'll say this: anybody that says you ain't about that life, really, they're the ones that's not about that life.
Not about that life.
Especially when it's not a situation that they're not dealing with personally. It was like, oh, you should have went in there and fight. Well, why don't you go in there and fight? Right. Well, I got something else. You're not really. If you're looking for somebody else to fight, you're really the person that's not. Right. You're not a fighter yourself. You're just trying to be entertained by somebody else.
Unless you're Zach Randolph, where like where I come from, bullies get bullied. You know.
But at the same time, like Kwame was also being defensive about everything, even the whole truck thing. Like, yo, ride your truck, and he was like, I'm 7 foot. Of course I have a truck. That's how stupid you are. Like,
I mean, number one, you can't expect a lot of like logic behind most of these arguments, because a lot of it honestly is emotional, and it's 20 years of pent up anger of being the punchline for a lot of folks. So I mean, when you go back to the Stephen A. clips of him going off about Kwame Brown, and he was going bonkers on Stephen A. It was the stuff that Stephen A. was saying was some real wild stuff. Where it's like, yo, you talking crazy about me on TV, right? You know,
it's one thing to criticize him, man. It's another thing. Like Stephen A. a lot would argue that he went above and beyond.
Yeah. I mean, you turned yourself into a cartoon character to make me look bad. And here it is now. I'm calling you out on it, and all you can say is, yeah, you're right. I took it too far. You know, you criticize the play, but once you get all the anime, and it's like, hey, chill out. My bad. Keep it in the box. Keep it in the box. You know,
too much.
You know, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson.
Funniest.
You know, when you go out of your way to put on a show, you know, somebody's being complimentary of me, and you nah. Don't compliment him. Like, oh, okay. Now I gotta check you now.
Funniest part for me was by far when Kwame's like, you supposed to have light skin. You're supposed to be taking people's girls, not get your girl took. I couldn't believe that.
No, the part that resonated with me, that made me go, "Ooh," when he said, "So which one hated you more, your white granddaddy or your black granddaddy?" I was like,
"Wow!" Like that.
I didn't even know that was said. Damn.
Oh yeah, I was. Like,
he said that a few times.
Clutch my pearls.
Yeah. Wow! Damn, double homicide. Like.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous right there. Nah, but you know, it comes to that point in time that I'm just like, look, if I'm Kwame Brown, I'm going on all the smoke.
No, I'm not going on it because I don't want to give them the ratings.
Yeah,
give them the benefit, right?
Yeah, don't say that would be the most watched Showtime show that week. YouTube replays would be on over 1 million in a day. Nah, don't give them the pub.
Kwame's smart. He knows that. Yeah.
You know, if anything, made them come see you. They so mad about it. You so mad about it, come see me.
Yeah. Fuck Jake Paul fighting. I want to see Matt and Kwame go in the ring. You know? I'd actually pay money maybe to see that.
But I mean, I will say this: they may want to take their cue from Gilbert Arenas. When Gilbert called out Kwame called out Gilbert, and Gilbert was like, "You know what? You right. I'm chill. I want no problems."
It's like, I want to stay in the 150 to 180 weight class.
It's a big boy. Kwame Brown's a big boy.
He's like, remember, I used to pop your head in Washington. He's like, yeah, you right. My bad. I see you.
And did you see all the Instagram comments, like not on the IG lives, but like on Gil's feed, and like he made a couple posts, and there was one that was like, yeah, Kwame took on like 6 bodyguards, you know, like,
oh, yeah,
and like he's
they said
he's
Kwame
different.
and his brother cleared out a club. It's like, oh, y'all clearing out clubs? I don't want no problem. Cool.
And it was funny, the pump fake that Matt Barnes looked like he was about to take a high road. Then he had to throw in well, since you want to have my name in your mouth. I was like, God damn it, Matt.
Well, I mean, he ended it with, if you want to be mad at somebody, blame Michael Jordan for picking you number one. Be mad at him for believing in you. I was like, oh, Matt, you're not doing right. You're not doing right. You choose violence. You're trying to instigate, perpetuate this stuff. You don't want things to be all right.
Like I said, this is gonna be a nice talking battle from the comfort of everybody's couch / studio / car / phone / wherever. You know, and Kwame, keep on making that content. Do you, my brother? Do you?
Just stop making it hour long. Like, talk for 10 minutes.
Oh, well, you ain't gotta listen to the whole hour.
Keion, you tell him.
Kwame, if you are watching this podcast, keep it to 8 minutes, bro.
He gonna come after you next, man.
Look, he can come after me. Look, a millionaire hitting me, hit me. I don't mind taking Kwame's money.
These words and sentiments have been shared by one Keion, San Andreas Grissom.
Like CJ from San Andreas.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Fat Thanos. You got anything on this?
I mean, I think y'all said everything that I was gonna say. I think Stephen A. We already know that Stephen A. had always gone way too far on Kwame Brown. At the end of the day, he's a man, and who knows what his struggles were and what he was going through. Same thing for Stack Jack and Matt Barnes. Both those guys know what they were doing, you know, and he wasn't having it. So, I mean, shoot, he shouldn't. Neither one of those guys are in the right or the wrong. They should, like I said, really should apologize. We should stop the violence on each other. You know, Kwame Brown has had a hard road. You know, one, and due large part to Michael Jordan and his treatment of him, and two, you know, not living up to expectations. So, as former basketball players, those guys know how it is. And shoot, I mean, all of them can do better.
I hear you. I feel like that's a good place to wrap up. Gentlemen, got your final thoughts? Let's start with you, Keion.
Don't talk about mama's cooking if you never had mama's cooking.
Good thought. Krims, you got any final thoughts? Anything you want to promote? Best time to talk about you.
I'm not want to talk about me really, but well, obviously want to thank y'all for having me on here and able to shoot the shit for 2 hours straight. It doesn't even feel like 10 minutes. I love it. I look forward to the next opportunity to do this. Shout out Corey Kluber of the New York Yankees for throwing like the 10th no-hitter already in baseball.
You really give a shout out?
Yeah, to my Yankees.
They changed. I'm a Yankees fan too. You know that, but damn, All these damn no hitters. Change the ball back. Ridiculous.
Juice the ball up. What? The whole thing with this Tony La Russa stuff, and that's for another day. I'm just so over it, and I just hope the White Sox fire him. But they won't. But it's annoying. And the man is literally going at, like, I've never seen a manager not actively defend another team over his own. And that's not something in any sport that should be professional, that should be accepted. But he seems to glide past that, So
good old boy Sith.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Appreciate that. Lawrence, what you got?
I'm on the struggle bus a little bit because I'm old and I need my geriatric sleep. But I will say this: reiterate, CP3 does need his flowers. Even though he needs his flowers, Steph Curry needs his season appreciated as well. So does Giannis. So does Julius Randle, and hopefully they can do that in a respective way and make everyone happy. But I don't think that's going to happen. So anyway, those are my final thoughts.
Sounds like you want to hand out participation trophies.
You got one?
Nah. It's either MVP or bust. I don't need that in my life.
You got neither.
I'm cool. I'm cool with no trophy. If I didn't win, I don't want it. That's it. That's wrong. That's wrong with these kids nowadays. It's the pacification of America.
That ain't the word you want to use. That ain't the word.
Change the A to a U, maybe. Yeah.
What do you want me to say? What, the wussification?
That's closer to the word you want to use.
Something like that. PG version, yes.
I'll say, well, this ain't King of the Hill. What are we doing here?
Damn it, Bobby.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, so my final thought, going back to baseball, since Krims brought it up, the Braves won tonight 20-1.
Wow.
Woo.
Yeah. Talking about, getting hits. But
just like the one voting, they want voting to go that way too. 20 on one side and only one person voting on the other.
Wow.
Look, I'm a Braves fan. It's still F them at the end of the day.
I'll feel you on that. And also, news and boxing, we got announced the Wilder and Fury fight, third time going at it. Early prediction for me, I'm picking Wilder.
Is that the one the arbitrator ruled has to happen in September?
Yes.
Yep.
Or is that someone else? Okay.
Yeah, that one.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And also just announced today, Manny Pacquiao will be making his return against Errol Spence.
You know who wins that fight?
Spence.
No, nobody, because nobody wants to see that damn fight.
Nah. Errol Spence is that guy. I think
Errol Spence is that guy. I'll give you that. Manny, wrap that shit. That boxing.
When is Floyd fighting the other Paul brother? Is that like next month?
I don't know, but he said he's gonna kill him because he stole his hat.
No.
And Floyd's
Got your hat?
Floyd's hair was looking like Kevin Durant's hair.
Bruh, oh my
God. That's unfortunate.
R.I.P. his hair.
Yeah.
I really hope he shaves that shit.
It's a quarantine cut. Even billionaires get that.
Right.
Yep. But hey, with that being said, this has been another edition of Two Piece and a Biscuit. You can check us out on Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. Be sure to catch us on the next episode when we put it out. And like it, share it with your friend, tell your mama and your mama's mama about us, and we'll catch you next time.
Tell your white granddaddy and your black granddaddy.
Hopefully they loved you. Catch y'all next time.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey,
God
it was a
bless
joy.
y'all.